Steve Wozniak is one of the founders of Apple, but yet he is less known because he left the company. But it was because of this man that technology had been pioneered. He was one of the very first inventors to invent the Apple I and the Apple II, one of the very first quote-unquote laptops or compact computers. And although he quit the company and lost the chance to gain trillions of dollars, we see that he took action in his life to pursue his dream and to pursue his passion. Now, this was the first thing that came to mind when presented with today's quotation by William Wordsworth, where he says, "To begin, begin." Where he goes on to explain that in order to make a happy and successful life, you must actually begin your journey. You have to take action or else you will be stuck in the same spot forever. We can see this today through two key areas of analysis. First, we look through the conflict theory and its subsidy of Julius Caesar and how that plays into this theory. No, that doesn't make sense either. I said theory twice, and it's not a theory, it's a thesis. I'm going to keep this camera rolling because I'm not going to walk over there. I'm just going to cut the video.
It's okay.
Steve Wozniak was one of the founders of Apple. And although he is less well known, he was one of the pioneers to invent the Apple I and the Apple II, one of the very first compact computers on the market. And although he quit the company after several disputes with Steve Jobs and lost the chance at trillions of dollars, he is renowned as one of the pioneers in technology, making one of the greatest products and industry lines ever known. Now, this was the first thing that came to mind when presented with today's quotation by William Wordsworth, where he says, "To begin, begin." And where he goes on to say that in our lives, in order to make it better and to be successful, we must take action. We cannot stand there and do absolutely nothing, or else we'll be stuck in the same spot forever. We can see this today through two key areas of analysis. First, we look through the conflict theory and how it plays into the play of Julius Caesar. Secondly, we look through the bystander effect and how it played into the tragic loss of Kitty Genovese. Now, as Steve Wozniak pioneered technology, we see that the conflict theory pioneered sociology. This theory from the scientific field of sociology states that no matter who holds the power, no matter who has all of the natural resources, there is always going to be subjects and people underneath who want to take that from them. And this is a constant battle which shapes our society. Now, this is furthered by the play by William Shakespeare of Julius Caesar. Now, in this play, our main character, Julius Caesar, is coming home from his battles in Pompeii. He is well renowned and very much applauded for being a great conqueror, and the people want to vote him as a king. But it is his three generals, Cassius, Brutus, and Antony, that are worried that if he is crowned king, the Roman Republic would fall apart. They renown him as a very good leader, but at this time in its political stage, having a king would just tear the kingdom apart. And it is because of this that Brutus, Cassius, and Antony plot to kill their best friend, the man that they call their leader. And in one final scene, where Brutus stabs his best friend literally in the back, we see that he ended up taking the action needed in order to save Rome. He got up, did the things that nobody else would do, and although he may have not taken the power afterwards, he made action in his life. Secondly, taking a look into the psychological world of the bystander effect. Now, the bystander effect is a psychological theory that says we as humans, when an incident occurs, we tend to do nothing because we automatically assume that somebody else will take that action for us. Now, this is seen through the tragic loss of Kitty Genovese. This young woman was walking outside of her house when she was assaulted by a man and stabbed in the back twice. When a neighbor noticed what was going on, she shouted and the man fled, only to return 10 minutes later to see his victim unconscious on the floor. He then continued to stab her multiple times in order to make sure that she was dead. And although there were plenty of eyewitnesses around that reported that they saw the incident, an ambulance wasn't called till several minutes later, and it was by then too late. This woman had already passed away. And now, if one of these people would have actually taken effect and begun the journey to save the woman's life, she would still possibly be alive today. But it was because these people decided to stand around and be a bystander, they no longer gave this young woman the opportunity to be alive. And it was because of this that she passed away. So today, when presented with the quotation by William Wordsworth, "To begin, begin," he goes on to say that we as a human race, we as people in society must take action, must be able to step up and do these things in order to make our lives successful. We saw this through the conflict theory and how people want to always take power and how it applied through the play of Julius Caesar and how Brutus took his own best friend's life for the greater good of the people. And we also saw this through the bystander effect and how people no longer want to help the victim but assume that other people will through the tragic loss of Katie Genevieve. So today, looking at this as a whole, I call upon you not to be the Steve Wozniaks. To not quit the company when you're in the middle of it, but instead to continue on to be a better pioneer, to make your industry even better, and maybe even become a trillionaire. Thank you. My time was super
1
short.
minute and 6 seconds.
Oh, my timing was super short on that. Oh well, I'm just going to send it.